Welcome. It has been a while. Welcome to Top 10 Ocean Liners, and let's dive in. Wait 1 second. There's another thing I have to say. All of these choices are my opinion, and if you want to share your list, there's a comment section, and I will attempt to read all of your comments. And now let's dive into the video ahead. I don't know why I like SS Rotterdam, but what I can say is that I like the entire exterior, except for one thing. It's this weird funnel looking thing, and it looks really bad. And it detracts of the entire appearance. Although she has sweeping lines and is very yacht-like. Also, her interiors are very grandiose and are very good. Despite looking a bit tacky, even though the interiors are from the 70s, and I personally think interiors from the 70s are terrible, but these interiors are pretty good. And that's why it gets number 10. The Empress of Britain of 1931 is a very grand liner that serviced the Montreal to Southampton route. She was the most luxurious liner servicing this route, although not as luxurious as her contemporaries servicing the New York route. Her interiors are breathtaking, especially a first-class lounge. Her exterior is sleek with 3 wide funnels that make the Empress look balanced and beautiful. Overall, the ship is the greatest that Canadian Pacific Railway ever built, although she only saw 8 years of passenger service, and if she wasn't torpedoed during the war, I think she would have survived into the 60s or 70s. The SS United States is very impressive. She was and still is the fastest liner on the Atlantic and has held the blue ribbon ever since 1952. The SS United States exterior looks like a large yacht. While her speed deserves attention, many people think her interiors are lacking. I somewhat agree with this opinion, but I seem to like some of the spaces in the SS United States. She was a great liner, and if I lived in the 50s and I needed to get somewhere in a hurry, excluding air travel, I would sail on her. I know what you're thinking now. This isn't an ocean liner! What are you doing putting this on the list? Well, this is my video, and I can do what I want, so shut up. So, built in 2010, the Disney Dream and then later the Disney Fantasy are one of my favorite modern cruise ships. Thus, both these ships deserve number 7 on this list. SS France. As her name suggests, she was the pride of France in the 1960s. She was also the last transatlantic liner built for Compagnie Générale Transatlantique, also known as the French line. She was absolutely beautiful inside and out. This is less for SS Norway though. Although her conversion shaped the modern cruise industry we all know today, her original conversion went well until a refit in the 2000s, which added a whole new deck of suites, and this subsequently ruined her. All in all, she's great, and nothing can change my opinion in this matter. RMS Queen Elizabeth II, also known as the QE2, was the future of the once great Cunard line. When she entered service in 1969, she was one of the last great purpose-built liners to service the Atlantic. QE2 is beautiful due to her yacht-like appearance. Many people dislike her interiors. I personally think some of her interiors are tacky, but some of her interior spaces are gorgeous. When she retired from service in 2008,
she was bought by a Dubai-based investment company. Many people thought she was to be scrapped, but despite all the odds, she was converted into a floating hotel in Dubai. Much like her fleetmate, legendary RMS Queen Mary, she is one of the 3 ocean liners from her era that have been saved. These ships include Queen Mary, Queen Elizabeth II, and Rotterdam.
This choice was pretty easy. Although Lusitania's interiors are better than Mauritania's, I chose Mauritania mostly because of the history in her 30-year-long career. Since I would like to do a video one day, I don't want to go too in-depth into her career, so I'll just say some of it. So, in the second paragraph now, I'm just going to explain why she's the 4th best ocean liner of all time. She captured the Blue Ribbon in 1907 on her maiden voyage, taking it from her sister, Lusitania. 22 years later, in 1929, the SS Bremen captured the record and dethroned Mauritania as the fastest liner on the Atlantic. Her popularity started to wane, and when Cunard merged with White Star Line in 1934, along with the RMS Olympic, they were both laid up and eventually scrapped in 1935.
Queen Mary is iconic. I'm just gonna say it. She is the most famous ocean liner that didn't sink, obviously. Her career with Cunard and her time in Long Beach was laced with history. When she entered service in 1936, she was the largest liner ever, surpassing the Normandy, but later in 1937, she would lose this accolade to her rival. Queen Mary's rivalry with Normandy shaped both Queen Mary's and Normandy's short career. She captured the Blue Ribbon on her maiden voyage, beating Normandy's record at a time of 4 days, 12 hours, and 24 minutes. Just a little over 2 hours faster than Normandy. She would later lose this the following year after a winter refit. Queen Mary would later capture the Blue Ribbon once and for all in 1938. Normandy couldn't answer back to this challenge. Later in 1942, Normandy met her fiery end. Queen Mary was in her class of her own. From her construction in the 20s and 30s to her war service from 1939 to 1945, carrying millions to the war in Europe, to her retirement in Long Beach, where she is still there today and was recently opened back to the public in 2023. I know this might be an unpopular choice to the people who have no idea what I'm talking about, and they're sitting at the screen saying, "Oh, this is a disgrace to put Olympic on this list and not Titanic because Titanic sank." I know Titanic's loss greatly contributed to heightened safety standards, but Titanic's overrated. That's another topic for another video, though. This is all about Olympic. She's great inside and out and contributed immensely to the British war effort in World War I. I mean, she sunk a freaking U-boat in one of her trooping voyages. During this time, many called her the Old Reliable for being the only Olympic-class liner to cross the Atlantic more than once. She deserves the spot, and you can't change my opinion about this. Number 1. Norwegian Caribbean Line's Pride of America. I mean, just look at this ship. It's garbage! My actual number 1 is
June 3rd, 1935. The Normandy $60 million luxury liner comes to America on its maiden crossing of the Atlantic, an event that occasioned a marine demonstration that will live in history. Whistles blew and sirens shrieked a mighty welcome to the new Queen of the Seas. The famed skyline of America's greatest city formed a fitting background for America's greeting to one of the most stately ships that ever crossed the Atlantic.
SS Normandy. Where should I start? I'm going to start with the fact that when she entered service in 1935, she was by far the largest ocean liner of all time. Before Normandy, the largest ship in the world was White Star Line's Majestic, coming in at about 56,000 tons. Normandy, on the other hand, was 85,000 tons. Almost double the tonnage than Majestic. She was also the fastest liner at that time with a service speed of 29 knots, and she easily captured the blue ribbon from the Italian liner SS Rex. Normandy is beautiful through and through. She's a triumph of naval engineering and was the pinnacle of the ocean liner era. Normandy's career was cut short due to World War II, and if she wasn't accidentally sunk by the Americans, I think she would have been in service up to the 1960s. But who is to tell what happened? What's weird is some people dislike Normandy for the fact that she didn't turn a profit for the French line. Normandy only served 4 seasons, which is not enough to recoup $60 million in building costs. It doesn't matter, though, if she was profitable or not. To me, what really matters is that Normandy is an over-the-top, ridiculous ship that won't be built again. And that's why many people, including myself, regard Normandy as the greatest ocean liner of all time. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This took a really long time, from writing the script to doing this voiceover to editing this monster of a video. It took around 3 months of on and off work to complete. So please like and subscribe so all the work I spent on this video is worth it. And if you guys want to see any other content like this, please in the comments say anything. And I will see you again soonish with another video coming eventually.